Hello and welcome to this review and flight test of the Huiying 851, a nano quadcopter which has become a real favorite of mine. In front of me I have everything I got inside the box, which looks like this. As you can see here on the side, it seems to come in 4 colors: green, red, black and blue. I got the green one, which you will see in just a bit. Notice here in the bottom where it says 851. On the other side of the box it shows you another nano, the 850, so I suppose they use the same box for both models. The box is nice and all, but you can't really reuse it for carrying your nano around, which is a shame. I'm a big fan of those types of boxes. Let's now move on to the nano itself. As you can see, it's very bland and generic looking, sporting the typical CX-10 look, although it's actually a tiny bit bigger. It would have been fun with a more unique design. Also, this coloring and logo really reminds me of the Green Lantern for some reason. In the back you have the charging port and on-off switch. The quad lights up when it's turned on, blue in the front and red in the back. It does have a LVC warning, which means that it'll start blinking when the battery is running low after about 5-6 minutes of flight. Pretty good. Now, if I have one major complaint apart from the design, it's the assembly. Mine came with this big gap in the canopy. It isn't really noticeable and it doesn't affect the flight performance, but it's still sad to see on an otherwise excellent product. On the other hand, something I really love about the Huiying 851 is the transmitter. It doesn't really look like much and I've heard mixed opinions, but for someone like me who played a lot of video games and I'm used to these thumbsticks, I find it's comfortable and very precise. The only flaw with it, if you ask me, is the placement of the buttons. As you can see, they put the trims on top and the rates and flip below the right thumbstick. I think it would have made much more sense to have it the other way around. Now, every time you want to do a flip, you have to watch out so you don't accidentally press the rates button instead, and vice versa. The transmitter takes 4 AAA batteries and the hatch screws on and off with the screwdriver you get in the box. The screwdriver is also used to mount the prop guards, which comes installed on the quadcopter. As you can see, on mine they actually match the color of the canopy. As I try to demonstrate, these just barely covers the prop against the ceiling. Overall they feel pretty flimsy. Included in the box is also one of those standard USB chargers. It's apparently exactly the same as the CX-10 charger, because the one that came with mine was defective, so I've been using the CX-10 one instead. Charging takes about 20 minutes. You'll also get one set of replacement propellers. Here's the manual. I can't for the life of me find it in here, but the quad actually has headless mode, which I found out from another YouTube video. What you do is you move the sticks down and away from each other, then lights will start blinking and you're good to go. To calibrate, you do almost exactly the same maneuver, down and together. Now let's move on to the flight test. Now here's the Huiying 851 in flight. Normally I fly this indoors, which is probably more of its natural habitat, but today the weather was lovely, so I thought why not? The flight characteristics is really where this nano shines. Powerful without being overly twitchy, stable without being sluggish, it's just really responsive. I love flying this thing. It has 3 rates. I'm flying here on the medium rate. The low rate is slow, but not painfully so, and still useful indoors or for beginners. The high rate is very fast but also very fun. Sadly, the yaw rate doesn't change with the rates, or if it does so only marginally. Still, it's okay for most situations. It flips well and in all directions, but the flips themselves are really nothing special. One advantage of having a dedicated button for flips instead of pressing one of the sticks though, is that you can easily perform multiple flips in a row. That's pretty fun. Now, it doesn't happen in this video, but trust me, I've accidentally crashed this Nano its fair share of times and it still works perfectly. I haven't even had to replace any of the props. Now, maybe I've just been lucky, but to me the durability of this quadcopter feels surprisingly good. In summation, Huiying 851 is a great nano quadcopter. What it lacks in generic lackluster design, it more than makes up for in flight. I can recommend it to both beginners and experienced flyers. People who already own a nano quad may want to think twice though. While the 851 outperforms in most regards, it doesn't really excel in any. So is it worth the money? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and join me soon in another video.